Today we're talking about digiscoping with DSLR, mirrorless cameras, micro four thirds systems using Kowa adapters. And I'm here with Justin Carr, who is one of our brand ambassadors who specialises in DSLR digiscope. Very often you'll see Justin's work online and he's filming moving subjects. It's very hard to do. We're going to talk through a few tips, and we're going to go through Justin's setup shortly. But first of all, we're just going to talk briefly about the adapters and the different focal lengths, what you can expect to achieve when you attach the DSLR to a spotting scope, a Kowa spotting scope. And there's two different main methods. So first of all, body only. That's where you put the PA7A onto a DSLR body. It goes over the eyepiece. There's no lens on the camera body. It's just body scope. And typically if you use something like a Sony or Canon, a full frame camera, the 35mm equivalent full frame sensor, when you put that on our eyepiece, 25 times optical zoom, which is the widest, the shortest distance, the shortest magnification, that's a minimum, that's 1000mm on a full frame camera. If I was to do the same with a micro four thirds camera, because of the sensor size, the crop factor, I need to double that 1000mm. So that 1000 becomes 2000mm minimum telephoto power. If I zoom the eyepiece up to 60 times on full frame, that's 2450mm. And if you double that, what's that in double? It's about 4900mm if you use micro four thirds. So it's a lot of power. There's also the APS-C format, which is 1.6 times crop factor. So that sits somewhere in the middle between full frame and micro four thirds. So for the body only method, we have an adapter called the PA7A, and that is just an adapter that fits over the eyepiece, and then you put a T2 ring in between the adapter and the camera body, and that's dependent on what system you're using. So this one, for example, is for Sony SE mount. That goes onto the body, then it goes onto the adapter, and then it goes onto the eyepiece of the scope. The other method, which Justin uses, because he's using a micro four thirds camera, he's got to control minimum 2000mm if he puts body only. So what people like Justin and other digiscopers do using micro four third cameras is they will use a pancake lens, typically a 20 or 25mm lens, and that in effect reduces the focal length. So how you work that out is you take the magnification of the scope, so say that's 25 times. The focal length of the lens, that could be 20. And then you've got to take into effect the crop factor, the 2 times crop factor of the camera. So your 20mm lens is actually 40mm because of the sensor size. Times that by 25, and that gives you your 1000mm minimum.
Yeah, and it's that sort of focal length that I want for, I do a lot of subject birds in flight, so the more focal length you've got makes it more difficult to get on that subject and to get in focus. So really I want less focal length to start with. There's times when I do want more focal length, and the beauty of the Kowa scopes is you can use full zoom, and especially using doing video, you lose very little quality when you zoom it up to 60 times. And very often I will use it up to 60 times. I will do it, so it just stays really sharp, really clear.
Yeah, so when you're zoomed up at 60 times on the eyepiece, we've got to take into effect the 20mm lens on the micro four thirds body. Then we have to times it by 2 because of the crop factor. So let's work it out. So let's say 40mm times 60, 2400mm. I mean, that's pretty impressive focal length.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using a dedicated lens for a camera, you're getting nowhere near that sort of focal length, and the scope just allows you to have these fantastic, massive focal lengths. Plus, as well, the lenses in the scopes pure fluorite, so it stays really sharp, really bright. It's just fantastic scope for digiscoping.
I think, I know you've said in the past that when you digiscope, chromatic aberration is very noticeable if you're not using a top quality scope.
That's right.
It will really be visible.
And especially in the bigger objective lenses, the CA can be more exaggerated, whereas there's virtually I can't see any CA in the Kowa scopes. It's just not there to my eyes.
So we'll just break down, go a bit deeper into what gear you're using, and we can talk through what adapter to do this Micro Four Thirds method. If you're interested in using the Micro Four Thirds with the pancake lens, this is a breakdown of gear. So first, let's start with the camera. So what camera are you using?
Right, I use a Panasonic Lumix GH5 Micro Four Thirds. I've got a 20mm f1.7 lens on it, which is really quick lens, and I use the Kowa TSN DA10 adapter, which basically just screws on.
So that's good on the filter thread.
That's right.
Is it 46mm on that?
Yeah.
lens? So we, in between the lens and the DA10 is a AR ring, a Kowa AR ring, and that's the AR46. It's basically taking the DA10 into a 46mm thread, and then you're on.
Yeah. Then all you do is just loosen the grub screw, and it just slides straight on. Tighten the grub screw.
Yeah.
And then we're away. Simple as that. Yeah. Simple as that.
And the GH5, I know that's a really good video camera, and that's your thing.
Yeah, mainly video these days. Yeah.
So 4K, shooting 4K, 60 frames per second.
Yeah. It's just an amazing camera, and coupled with this scope, you can get fantastic results using this setup.
So when you think there in that size, you've got a minimum 1000mm telephoto fluorite crystal lens.
Yeah.
And the other thing is what settings are you using with that pancake lens? Are you putting everything into manual and just controlling it all with the scope?
Yeah, well, it's set. The aperture is set at f1.7.
Yep.
And that's how it's set. And if I want to adjust the shutter speed, I adjust the ISO to adjust the shutter speed. But doing video, it's different. It's it's very, with the ISO, it's not as important. With this scope, because it gathers so much light, it's only in the harshest, dullest conditions that you need to put the ISO up.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you'll keep the ISO down as low as possible.
Yeah. So, but when you think you're controlling 1000mm, if you're doing stills, then you need a fast shutter speed. Otherwise, you're going to get motion blur.
Yeah.
But you don't really run into that so much with the video. Obviously, depending what you want to do with that video, but you can slow it right down to 24 frames per second or whatever like that. So if the light's not so good.
So if I'm digiscoping birds in flight, let's just say swifts, then my ISO needs to be up. I need to adjust the ISO. Probably, look, if you're looking up into a bright sky, you're probably talking 800 to 1000 ISO to get a faster shutter speed. Like turns fly really fast, so you need it. You need that fast shutter speed, which you do with turn the ISO up.
So summing up then, so if you want to do DSLR digiscoping, if you want to do body only without a lens, that kind of suits the full frame cameras better because they've had much better ISO performance. The full frame, they're bulky, they're bigger, so you don't really want to be hanging a big camera with a big 50mm lens on. So that's why the Micro Four Thirds method works, because everything's so compact. So PA7A if you want to go body only. If you want to do the lens method, you use DA10. We'll put all the details in the comments, and also we'll share some of Justin's incredible videos in the links below.